So, as you can tell, this is probably my favorite unit to work on. Just imagine putting an air handler in an area like this. Ay, ay, ay. So, this unit had some things go on. You can see that. Everything charred up. That's coming from the rib relay, fan coil relay, and it burnt up. Issue is, I don't care about that. That burned up, but I don't care because I'm gonna put a thermostat on it anyway. So we gotta climb under here. This to try to give me some. Okay, that's what I got to work with. Shut that off. So, I don't know why I don't have a headlamp. Just got in, people. Gotta catch up. So, this is my contactor for my blower motor here. I gotta work my way through the safety chain to make sure I got 120 volts landing. I need 120 landing on A1 and 2. Those are the two at the front that you see here. That's A1, that's A2. I gotta have 120 landing to close this and make my motor run. It's got a safety right there, and it's got 3 others on the other side. But yesterday I was getting some kind of weird ghost voltage. I think maybe I got a neutral here that's not going, because across the two I had like the same potential and I was reading 0, but then if I do each one to ground, I was getting 120. So we got to figure something out here to get 120 hot and neutral across this. And I'm thinking more than likely it's one of these safeties here that has a neutral going across it and maybe not making its way back to where it needs to. I don't know, but we got to figure it out. But first, I got to go turn the power on. So here's 24. I'm testing it without any low voltage to energize the coil. I'm just trying to test. I'm just going to test here real quick what happens when I put this in the hand versus when it's in the off position right now. So that checked out. I'm gonna go back downstairs just to show kind of probably what I'm gonna end up doing here. It's easier to explain or go through it up here that I can stand on 2 feet. So basically this transformer, this is where it all starts. You see how I done this one? It's because the same thing happened on this unit. So you got your 120 hot, 120 neutral. This neutral goes up into this pipe, and trust me, the only way I know this is because I traced it down. goes there. And this happens for every one of these units. It does this. That's why there's voltage blocks here. So you see that neutral, it goes up, comes down, goes back out, and it goes through all of the safeties in this circuit. Now the reason I found out that this one, why this one wasn't running, was because this buddy here, as you can see, it's been banged up. You know, people go through here with carts that probably got hit or something and banged up over the years. So I was essentially taking this completely out of circuit. And this is a blower air handler. All it does is handle air. So this is the most important thing that needs to be safe. So that's what that does. 3 lines go in, 3 lines come out. If it's drawing too much current, then it cuts out at a certain rate. That's my safety. It's my starter, my heaters, my motor overload on my contactor, or below my contactor. That's what these are. These are heaters. And that was actually the unit coming on now, because I've got it tied in, as you've seen on the other video. I got this running and this running off of this thermostat here. So both of those running off of one thermostat, because I just gotta get some control of this place. I'll come back and do everything the right way later, but as of now, that's what it's gonna be. But so that's what's going on with my unit downstairs, and I'm gonna actually go down there now with this and put this jumper on to jump out these safeties, because that's all it does. It goes and it runs in series with these safeties. If one of those is open, then my neutral won't make it back to this A2 to close this coil in. Back in the dungeon, and just to show some of this, here's my neutral safety circuit. Gotcha. This is acting as your return. There's not an open return. It's actually pulling from the space temp in here, or from the space return. Got it pulling in. These are your safeties. 1, 2, 3, just like the other one. And turn that off. Oh, gotta love the rat droppings. Yeah, those are rats. Those aren't mice. So, if we got anything over here. God dog it. That's just a disconnect for the motor. I gotta go. Turn the breaker off. I'll be back. But essentially what I'm doing is whatever's coming off of that neutral, it's landing up under there. I'm gonna take that and use my jumper and land that neutral on A2 right there on the right, and see if this baby runs. After that, I will start running S1, S2 for my thermostat. I got one more thermostat before I gotta order another one. And I gotta order a sensor for this unit, and I'm gonna put that in the space S1, S2, and I'm gonna repeat the process for this unit. But yeah, Nate Building Maintenance, man. The saga continues. 50-year-old building. This is what you'll be looking at, something like this. We'll say though, that belt looks good, cause I just put it on. I'm out. Oh no, that don't look good. That don't look good, people. Tell you what looks better. Worse, I should say. Better. Can't talk. Asbestos. Silent killer. I'm out. Okay. Tell me your building's 50 years old. Y'all seen these? Three-phase. Okay. That's off. Alright. Looks to be all dead here. Alright, so that's that neutral pulled out. Get this and jump it to right there. Alright, disconnect on. That white is jumped to A2s, jumped to hairs for my secondary 120. Let's see if this thing will run. Yeah. Alright, moment of truth. 24. See if we can hear it. Yeah, I heard it. Let's see. Hear that air. Hear that air. Yeah. So I don't know if you can tell by the orientation. I'm standing in front of the unit now. The crawl space is about here. Those safeties are about here because these are returns. These aren't supplies. These are returns. So that's one piece to the puzzle for that one. The next piece is going to be the thermostat, in which I got to figure out, you know what, now that I see this here is the thermostat for that unit. And I don't think there's a VAV on that unit. It goes straight from blower to... Well, this comes from the penthouse. See, that's the thing. Upstairs is my fan coil. In the basement is my blower. And level 2 is my space. So I would think that this goes up straight to the, no, the controller's downstairs, so this probably goes down. You know what? My thermostat has to deal with the fan coil, so I'm gonna be starting up in the penthouse to get S1 and S2 down here. Gotta look up in the ceiling tiles and get it there, you know? Back up in the penthouse, 24. I did double check this. That's why I'm kind of out of breath, because I had to run up and down twice just to figure out that when I put this thing fan runs. When I put it in off, it's off. I just wanted to make that rigidity test, or whatever you call it, that test. I needed to make that, because if I'm gonna do like I did here and wire this thermostat, S1 and S2, I want to at least see physically that this switch is doing what it's supposed to do. So next step will be to land a common and G from a thermostat over here, take some, add another, see, and this is why on my other one I use the terminal block for this, because this gets messy, you know, this gets messy. I do have some good twist here after the nut, so that lets you know it you know, and I did my pull test. But still, I'm gonna get this running with the thermostat first, then I'll come back and I'll, you know, snatch all these labels off and stuff and put a fat terminal block for red, hot 24, and neutral 24, like basically 2 low voltage blocks, so that everything's landed and looks better than that. Because trust me, I know. I'm gonna clean the cabinet up and I'm gonna find out what this does, because whenever I disconnected from 24 volts, I heard a click somewhere in here. So I kept it there, like, okay, whatever it is, it's doing something, and I heard some fan shut off. Yeah, so also yesterday on my unit 12, on this thermostat, I know I'm doing different videos, but on this thermostat, I need to go to my installer setup and change the aggressiveness of the cool. I don't like a lot of cycling with these big 3-phase motors coming on and coming off. Now that one over there, 14, it does have the VFD right there, so it, you know, slowly ramps up. But these things here, man, it just boom, on, boom, off. So I kind of don't like to have these cycle. I put the installer setup on the thermostats when I do these. I put them on less aggressive so that there's less cycling that goes on. Yeah, just a little side note.